In this video, we're exposing the shocking truth about what's really hiding in your breakfast bowl. The 10 cereal brands you need to avoid immediately. From artificial colors linked to behavioral issues to preservatives banned in other countries, what you're about to discover might completely change your next trip down the cereal aisle. And here's the good news. Stick with me until the end because I'll reveal the 4 truly clean brands that health experts actually trust. Let's crack open those colorful boxes and separate real nutrition from the chemical-laden imposters sitting on your grocery shelves. 10. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Starting at number 10, Cinnamon Toast Crunch has been a breakfast staple for decades, conjuring memories of Saturday morning cartoons and sweet cinnamon sugar coating. But that nostalgic sweetness comes with ingredients that should give you pause, especially if you're watching what goes into your body as you age. The ingredient list includes caramel color, a manufactured additive used to create that consistent golden brown appearance across millions of boxes. What concerns many food safety advocates is that caramel coloring isn't just burnt sugar. The manufacturing process can create compounds that have raised questions among researchers studying long-term dietary exposure. For older adults who may already be managing blood sugar or metabolic concerns, these added colorings serve no nutritional purpose whatsoever. The cereal also lists BHT as a preservative added to preserve freshness. BHT, or butylated hydroxytoluene, is a synthetic antioxidant that keeps the cereal from going stale on store shelves for months. While approved for use in the United States, this is the kind of chemical additive that wouldn't appear in cereal made in your grandmother's kitchen. Many health-conscious consumers question why we need synthetic preservatives when simpler storage methods or fresher production cycles could accomplish the same goal. For adults watching their overall chemical exposure, especially those taking multiple medications or managing chronic conditions, every synthetic additive adds to the body's processing burden. 9. Reese's Puffs. At number 9, Reese's Puffs combines the appeal of candy with breakfast, but that combination brings serious ingredient concerns. The cereal contains multiple artificial colors including red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, and blue 1, creating those distinctive peanut butter and chocolate-colored puffs. These FD&C color additives are synthetic dyes manufactured from petroleum derivatives, the same base material used to make gasoline and plastics. Research over the past several decades has explored connections between artificial food dyes and behavioral changes, particularly in children, though adults consuming these dyes daily aren't immune to potential effects. For older adults, the question becomes simple. Why consume petroleum-based chemicals when natural alternatives exist? What makes Reese's Puffs particularly troubling is the double dose of synthetic preservatives. The ingredient list includes both TBHQ and BHT, 2 different chemical preservatives added to preserve freshness. TBHQ, or tertiary butyl hydroquinone, is derived from petroleum and is also used in biodiesel production, varnishes, and lacquers. The fact that one cereal requires 2 separate synthetic preservatives suggests an extended shelf life prioritized over ingredient simplicity. For mature adults who remember when cereal contained just grains, sugar, and salt, this chemical complexity represents a dramatic shift in what we've normalized as breakfast food. 8. Cap'n Crunch's Crunch Berries. Coming in at number 8, Cap'n Crunch's Crunch Berries has sailed through generations of American breakfasts, but the ingredient list reveals why this voyage should end. The cereal contains the now familiar quartet of artificial colors, red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, and blue 1, creating those bright berry pieces that look nothing like actual berries. These synthetic dyes exist purely for visual appeal, making the cereal attractive to children while serving zero nutritional function for adults. For anyone over 45 who's become more conscious about reading labels and understanding what enters their body, these artificial colors represent unnecessary chemical exposure that accumulates over time with regular consumption. The ingredient list also includes natural and artificial flavor, along with BHT listed as a preservative to preserve freshness. The term natural and artificial flavor can encompass dozens of chemical compounds that manufacturers aren't required to specify individually. This lack of transparency becomes particularly concerning for older adults who may have developed sensitivities or allergies over the years, without realizing which specific compounds trigger reactions. The addition of BHT for extended shelf life continues the pattern of prioritizing storage convenience over ingredient integrity. When you're making breakfast choices with long-term health in mind, every synthetic additive deserves scrutiny. 7. Cocoa Pebbles. At number 7, Cocoa Pebbles brings back memories of Saturday morning cartoons and chocolate-flavored milk. But beneath the Flintstones branding lies a concerning ingredient profile. The cereal includes caramel color, that same manufactured coloring agent used to create consistent appearance across massive production runs. While it might seem harmless, caramel coloring in processed foods isn't created through simple heating of sugar. The manufacturing process involves ammonia and sulfites under high pressure, potentially creating compounds that health researchers continue to study for long-term effects. For adults in their later years who are already managing health concerns, these manufactured color additives add nothing beneficial to your breakfast bowl. The ingredient list also states natural and artificial flavor, that catch-all term that could include any number of chemical compounds. What's particularly notable is the addition of BHT, listed explicitly as being added to preserve freshness. This synthetic preservative keeps the cereal shelf-stable for months, allowing it to sit in warehouses and on store shelves far longer than any fresh food could. For older adults who grew up eating cereals with just a handful of recognizable ingredients, the presence of multiple flavor compounds and synthetic preservatives represents a fundamental change in what breakfast has become. The chocolate flavor you're tasting isn't just cocoa, it's a carefully engineered combination of chemicals designed to create consistent taste despite industrial-scale production. 6. Fruity Pebbles. Moving to number 6, Fruity Pebbles shares the same fundamental problems as its chocolate sibling, with some additional concerns. The cereal's ingredient list includes the full spectrum of artificial colors: red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, and blue 1, creating those rainbow-colored pebbles that look cheerful but deliver synthetic dyes with every bite. These FD&C color additives exist solely to make the cereal visually appealing, serving absolutely no nutritional purpose for adults seeking genuine sustenance. For mature consumers who remember when food coloring meant beet juice or turmeric, these petroleum-derived dyes represent a dramatic departure from natural ingredients. Just like Cocoa Pebbles, this cereal lists BHT added to preserve freshness. The fact that both varieties from this brand rely on the same synthetic preservative highlights a corporate decision to prioritize the shelf life over ingredient simplicity. For older adults, particularly those taking medications or managing conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, the cumulative effect of consuming synthetic preservatives daily deserves consideration. Your body must process and eliminate these chemical additives, adding to the metabolic burden that naturally increases with age. The bright, playful appearance of Fruity Pebbles masks a chemical complexity that simply wasn't necessary in traditional breakfast cereals. 5. General Mills Trix. Approaching our top 5 worst offenders, Trix cereal embodies the triumph of marketing over nutrition. The ingredient list includes artificial colors, red 40, yellow 6, blue 1, and other colors added, creating those fruit-shaped pieces in colors that no actual fruit possesses. These synthetic dyes are manufactured chemical compounds designed in laboratories, not extracted from real food sources. For adults over 45 who increasingly prioritize clean eating and ingredient transparency, these artificial colors represent exactly what many are trying to eliminate from their diets. The fact that the ingredient list acknowledges other colors added without specifying them further demonstrates the lack of transparency in industrial cereal production. The cereal also lists sugar as a primary ingredient near the top of the ingredient list. In ingredient lists, items appear in descending order by weight, meaning sugar comprises a significant portion of what you're eating. For older adults managing blood sugar levels or trying to reduce sugar intake for heart health and weight management, starting your day with a cereal where sugar outweighs many other ingredients sets up a problematic metabolic pattern. The combination of high sugar content and multiple artificial colors creates a breakfast choice that delivers quick energy followed by crashes, along with synthetic chemical exposure that accumulates with regular consumption. This isn't the balanced breakfast that mature adults need for sustained energy and health. 4. General Mills Lucky Charms. At number 4, Lucky Charms trades on childhood nostalgia and magical marketing, but the ingredient reality is far less whimsical. The cereal contains added colors including red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, and blue 1, creating those colorful marshmallow shapes that have defined the brand for generations. These artificial dyes serve purely aesthetic purposes, making the marshmallows look vibrant and appealing while contributing nothing to nutritional value. For health-conscious adults, especially those who've noticed increased sensitivity to processed foods as they've aged, these synthetic colors represent unnecessary chemical exposure. Your body must process these petroleum-derived dyes regardless of whether they serve any beneficial purpose. What makes Lucky Charms particularly concerning is the presence of multiple added sweeteners. Sugar, corn, syrup, and dextrose all appear on the ingredient list. This triple threat of sweeteners creates an intensely sweet taste that far exceeds what any natural grain could provide. For older adults managing weight, blood sugar, or cardiovascular health, this concentration of different sugar sources in one cereal creates a significant metabolic challenge first thing in the morning. The combination of artificial colors and multiple sweeteners represents industrial food engineering designed to maximize appeal and shelf life rather than support genuine health. The lucky feeling doesn't last when you consider the long-term impact of starting every day with synthetic dyes and excessive sugars. 3. Kellogg's Honey Smacks. Claiming the number 3 spot, Kellogg's Honey Smacks carries a troubling history beyond just ingredient concerns. In 2018, the CDC linked a multi-state salmonella outbreak to the cereal, leading Kellogg to recall Honey Smacks on June 14th of that year. For older adults with a potentially compromised immune systems or underlying health conditions, salmonella contamination isn't just an inconvenience, it can lead to serious illness requiring hospitalization. While the recall addressed that specific outbreak, the incident reveals quality control vulnerabilities in mass production that should concern anyone choosing what to eat for breakfast. Beyond the safety recall, the ingredient list shows added sugars, including both sugar and glucose syrup, listed prominently near the top. This means that sugar in its various forms comprises a major portion of what you're consuming. For mature adults watching their sugar intake due to diabetes concerns, weight management, or general health consciousness, a cereal this heavily sweetened creates an immediate blood sugar spike that your body struggles to regulate. The honey flavoring that gives the cereal its name is overshadowed by the sheer quantity of added processed sugars. When you're making breakfast choices with long-term health in mind, a cereal with this much added sugar and a history of contamination deserves serious reconsideration. 2. Kellogg's Apple Jacks. Coming in at number 2, Kellogg's Apple Jacks combines multiple concerning elements under one cheerful brand name. The ingredient list includes FD&C colors, yellow 6, yellow 5, red 40, and blue 1, creating those bright orange and green loops that look nothing like actual apples or cinnamon. These 4 different synthetic dyes are all petroleum-derived chemicals manufactured to create consistent artificial colors across billions of cereal pieces. For older adults who increasingly question why their food needs to be dyed with chemicals, Apple Jacks represents the extreme end of artificial coloring. Your breakfast shouldn't require a chemistry lab to create the colors on your spoon. Like its Kellogg siblings, Apple Jacks lists sugar as a primary ingredient near the top of the ingredient list. This prominent sugar placement means you're essentially eating sweetened, artificially colored grain pieces rather than anything resembling nutritious breakfast food. For adults managing age-related health concerns, the combination of high sugar content and 4 different artificial dyes creates a double burden. Your body must process the sugar spike while also filtering out and eliminating the synthetic dyes, all before your day has truly begun. The apple and cinnamon flavoring you taste comes not from real fruit or spice in meaningful amounts, but from this carefully engineered blend of sugars and artificial colors. This isn't breakfast, it's chemistry masquerading as nutrition. 1. Kellogg's Fruit Loops. Taking the number 1 spot as the absolute worst cereal you can choose, Kellogg's Fruit Loops represents everything concerning about modern industrial breakfast cereals concentrated into one rainbow-colored box. The ingredient list includes FD&C colors, red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, and blue 1, the same quartet of synthetic dyes, appearing in many problematic cereals but particularly troubling here, given Fruit Loops' market dominance and multi-generational appeal. These petroleum-derived chemicals create those distinctive bright colors that millions of Americans consume regularly, never questioning why breakfast needs to be dyed with industrial colorants. For older adults who've watched ingredient lists grow longer and more complex over their lifetimes, Fruit Loops exemplifies the drift from real food to chemical engineering. The cereal also shows sugar as a primary ingredient listed near the top, meaning sugar rivals the grain content in terms of sheer quantity. This isn't a little sweetness to make whole grains palatable. This is sugar as a fundamental component of what you're eating. For mature adults dealing with the natural metabolic slowdown that comes with age, starting your day with this much sugar sets up a problematic pattern of blood sugar spikes and crashes. The combination of maximum artificial coloring and prominent sugar content makes Fruit Loops particularly concerning for anyone taking breakfast seriously as a health decision. Those bright loops deliver synthetic dyes, excessive sugar, and minimal genuine nutrition. What makes Fruit Loops are in the worst position is its ubiquity and generational familiarity, meaning countless adults continue eating this chemical-laden cereal simply because they've always known it, never questioning whether those colorful loops serve their health as they age. After exposing the chemical offenders, here's genuine hope for cereal lovers who want clean eating. These 4 brands prove breakfast can be simple, pure, and honest, with real ingredients and zero compromises. 4. Nature's Path. Heritage Flakes. Starting our safe list at number 4, Nature's Path. Heritage Flakes offers transparency and organic integrity that industrial cereals abandoned decades ago. The brand website provides the full ingredient list directly on the page, showing organic grains plus cane sugar, sea salt, and honey, with no FD&C color additives anywhere. This straightforward disclosure demonstrates confidence in ingredients rather than the hiding behind vague terms we see with conventional brands. For older adults seeking ingredient clarity, this transparency allows informed decisions about exactly what enters your body each morning. Nature's Path lists the cereal as certified organic, non-GMO, and vegetarian, certifications that require independent verification and ongoing compliance. The organic certification means the grains were grown without synthetic pesticides or herbicides, reducing your exposure to agricultural chemicals that accumulate in conventional crops. For mature adults concerned about cumulative toxic exposure over decades of eating, choosing certified organic provides measurable risk reduction. The non-GMO verification ensures no genetically modified organisms were used, addressing concerns about long-term effects of altered genetics in our food supply. These aren't just marketing terms. These are verified standards that Nature's Path maintains across their production. The Heritage Flakes name itself suggests connection to traditional cereal making, offering familiar flake texture and mild sweetness without artificial engineering. 3. Food for Life. Ezekiel 4.9 Sprouted Whole Grain. Cereal at number 3, Food for Life. Ezekiel 4.9 Sprouted Whole Grain cereal represents ancient wisdom meeting modern nutrition science. The ingredient list shown on the brand website consists of organic sprouted grains and legumes, plus water, sea salt, and organic rosemary extract. That's it. No synthetic preservatives, no artificial colors, no chemical additives of any kind. The sprouted grain process activates enzymes that break down proteins and carbohydrates, making nutrients more bioavailable and easier to digest. For older adults who may experience digestive challenges with conventional grains, sprouted varieties often prove gentler while delivering superior nutrition. The brand explicitly states that Ezekiel 4.9 products are free from preservatives, artificial colors, and flavors. This commitment to purity means the cereal you're eating resembles what humans have consumed for thousands of years, not what food scientists engineered in the past few decades. The organic certification ensures clean growing practices, while the sprouting process increases vitamin content naturally without synthetic fortification. 4. Mature consumers seeking breakfast that supports rather than challenges their health. Ezekiel 4:9 offers whole food nutrition without compromise. The name itself references biblical grain combinations, connecting this cereal to food traditions that sustained human health long before artificial additives existed. This isn't just cereal. This is real food prepared the way our ancestors understood grains should be treated. 2. Cascadian Farm Organic. Purely O's coming in at number 2, Cascadian Farm Organic. Purely O's delivers the simple oat cereal taste many remember from childhood, but with verified organic purity. The product page clearly states the cereal is non-GMO project, verified and certified USDA organic, 2 independent certifications that require rigorous standards and regular testing. The organic certification guarantees the oats were grown without synthetic pesticides, herbicides, or fertilizers, dramatically reducing your exposure to agricultural chemicals. For older adults who've accumulated decades of pesticide exposure through conventional foods, choosing organic now helps reduce ongoing toxic burden. The brand specifically states the cereal contains no artificial flavors, with the complete ingredient list provided directly on the product page for full transparency. This straightforward disclosure allows you to verify exactly what you're eating rather than trusting vague marketing claims. The Purely O's concept embraces simplicity, offering just oats and minimal necessary ingredients to create cereal that tastes like actual grain rather than chemical flavoring. For mature consumers tired of ingredient lists reading like chemistry textbooks, Cascadian Farm returns to basics. The round oat shape provides familiar texture and mild natural sweetness without added colors or synthetic taste enhancers. This cereal proves that organic farming in simple processing can create satisfying breakfast without industrial complexity. When you pour Purely O's into your bowl, you're choosing food that supports health rather than challenging it with synthetic additives. 1. Arrowhead Mills Puffed Wheat Cereal. Taking the top spot as the absolute best cereal you can eat, Arrowhead Mills Puffed Wheat Cereal represents purity perfection through ultimate simplicity. The ingredient list shows a single ingredient, puffed wheat. That's it, one ingredient. No added sugars, no preservatives, no colors, no flavors, no chemicals, nothing but wheat that's been puffed through heat and pressure. This radical simplicity represents what cereal was before industrial processing transformed it into vehicles for sugar and synthetic additives. For older adults seeking the cleanest possible breakfast, you literally cannot find simpler or purer than a single ingredient. The product page explicitly states there's no added sugar or salt, allowing you to experience the natural, subtle sweetness of wheat itself. This absence of added sweeteners means no blood sugar spikes, no metabolic stress, and no training your taste buds to crave excessive sweetness. For mature adults managing diabetes, weight, or cardiovascular health, starting your day with unsweetened whole grain provides sustained energy without metabolic chaos. The puff texture creates satisfying crunch and volume while remaining incredibly light, making it easy to eat appropriate portions. You can add your own fresh fruit, a drizzle of honey, or a sprinkle of cinnamon, controlling exactly what sweetness and flavor you want, while knowing the base cereal remains completely pure. Arrowhead Mills Puffed. Wheat proves that when you start with quality grain and refuse to add anything unnecessary, you create breakfast that truly nourishes, rather than merely filling your stomach with chemicals. This is what cereal should be: honest, simple, and genuinely good for you. 10 cereal brands loaded with artificial colors, excessive sugars, and synthetic preservatives, plus 4 that actually honor what breakfast should be. If this changed how you'll shop for cereal, hit that like button, drop a comment telling me which brand surprised you most, and share this with friends and family who deserve to know what's really in those colorful boxes. Thanks for watching, and here's to cleaner, healthier mornings.